invitation to be here with us this morning. Our meeting here is for a brief purpose. It's a way of a build-up towards Ghana's participation in the upcoming Summit of the Future, which will be held later this month in New York. We are here this morning for the media to interact with the various stakeholders that we have here. And I would like to urge all our colleague media personnel here that this is our platform. The day is for us. Let's ask the questions. Let's clear all our doubts here. We will not have any sideline interviews after the conference. So when it's time for the Q&A, please do well and ask all your questions. So by way of introduction, we want to know who and who are here. So Professor George Bamford, he is also the chairman of the National Development Planning Commission. Chairman,
and thank you all for being here today as we embark on Ghana's journey to the 2024 Summit of the Future. The upcoming Summit of the Future is to be held on the 22nd and 23rd September in New York. Offers a great opportunity to all members of the international community to unite and set a direction to construct a better world for everyone. Ghana has consistently maintained strong principles in international relations, diplomacy, and multilateralism. We acknowledge and understand the complex nature of the global problems today. This includes, but not limited to, climate change, geopolitical conflicts, and social unrest, which require collective action to solve under the Sustainable Development Agenda. That is why Ghana is eager to join the Summit of the Future and share our ideas and solutions to the issues that will be discussed. This means that we must be proactive in our approach and form a new social compact by ensuring that the goals and targets set under the SDGs are properly implemented and supported to give the young and future generations a brighter future to look forward to. First, we desire to increase the involvement and consideration of African views and agendas in the global decision-making system. And being an African country, Ghana will ensure that African aspirations and needs are brought to the fore as the global leaders meet and shape the world's future for nations and maintaining world peace. Second, more emphasis will be placed on enhancing and expanding cooperation with international colleagues and organizations, existing and potential ones. Through partnerships, we can effectively support national and international development goals, reach out for resource mobilization and support, and facilitate knowledge sharing and skills development. Third, Ghana will present a record of our success stories, solutions, development, and effectiveness in sectors like climate change, human resource development, digitalization, and responsive leadership. Thus, our success stories can be helpful to invite and encourage other nations to follow such examples of solutions and adopt them to their circumstances. But we will also have to learn from other nations what they have also done effectively, so that we can also use that to improve our conditions in the country. In the run-up to the summit, we've launched a concerted stakeholder consultation process to seek ideas and garner support for our national agenda. In fact, we did them from the youth, civil society organizations, government agencies, and the private sector to ensure the inclusion of our citizens' voices in Ghana's position that we present to the world. Out of these consultations, 6 focal areas have been developed to inform Ghana's position paper that will be delivered by His Excellency, the President of the Republic. These are: 1, climate change mitigation. Ghana will table ambitious policy measures that help to advance countries' climate change agendas, particularly climate financing facilities such as carbon credits. Continuous efforts must be made towards enhancing climate resilience efforts to save the planet for the benefit of future generations. 2, human development and digital transformation. Promoting human development, especially the youth, Ghana will lead the way in efforts to harness digital technologies and innovation for more socio-economic development. 3, youth empowerment, value systems, and gender equality. Our future belongs to the young people. That is why we must educate them, defend our culture, and strive for gender equality to create the world that we want. 4, innovative financing. The financial options for development that are conventional, that are available now, are not enough. To gather the funds required to meet the Sustainable Development Goals, Ghana will suggest fresh and creative financing methods, such as strengthening the carbon markets, as I've said already, going through blended financing, and other non-debt finances that we will table. 5, inclusive governance. Global governance performance are essential to ensure more representative, transparent, and accountable decision-making. And so Ghana will offer suggestions on how to strengthen the United Nations and other multilateral institutions. 6, on science, technology, and innovation. Accelerating the achievement of global goals requires science, technology, and innovation. Ghana will encourage the use of climate-smart agricultural practices and highlight successful ventures like the zipline drone delivery services. And through creative thinking and digital collaboration, we will push for more funding for science, technology, and innovation in order to promote sustainable development, enhance healthcare services, and reduce carbon emissions. Ladies and gentlemen, the Summit of the Future is a unique chance to restore the right perspective for future cooperation. Ghana stands willing and prepared to partner with our friends across the globe to come up with progressive policies that can be achieved to make this world healthier, more peaceful, and more prosperous. This is the world that we want. This is the world that we deserve. I thank you for coming in your numbers, and may the good Lord help our homeland Ghana and make it great and strong. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Chairman. Indeed, this is the world that we want, and this is the world that we deserve. Now that we've been welcomed by the Chairman, I believe it's in order that we invite Mr. Charles Abani, the UN Resident Coordinator, to also give us a brief statement.
Representative of the Advisor to the President on the SDGs, fellow colleagues from the United Nations system, staff of the National Planning Development Commission, distinguished members of the media, the fourth realm, the fourth estate, members of the press, and esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, I'm honored to be able to address you alongside the government of Ghana as members of the media to provide you with some of the information regarding the upcoming Summit of the Future, an event that has really profound global significance, so that you're better able to articulate that in the Ghanaian context. The summit, which will take place later this month during the high-level week, will bring together world leaders, visionaries, and change makers to explore new solutions and strategies that will help us define our global future together as a planet. We are at a critical juncture in the global history of effective global cooperation, and increasingly this is critical for our survival, yet difficult almost to achieve. Our world is saturated in an atmosphere of mistrust, hatred, ferocious conflict and violence. Inequality and injustice is everywhere and growing, and we need a new way to tackle this. I'm going to deviate slightly and actually quote the Secretary General from his most recent statement on this, so that you get the exact words that explain the vision behind this. And I quote, "International decision-making is stuck in a time warp. Many global institutions and tools are the products of the 1940s, an era before globalization, before decolonization, before widespread recognition of human rights and gender equality, before humanity traveled into space, never mind cyberspace. The global institutions offer limited space for many of the major players in today's world, from civil society to the private sector. Young people who will inherit the future are almost invisible, while the interests of future generations go unrepresented. The Summit of the Future recognizes that the solutions to these challenges are in our hands, but we need a systems update that only global leaders can deliver. The message is clear. We cannot create a future for our grandchildren with a system built for our grandparents. The Summit of the Future will be an opportunity to reboot multilateralism and collaboration fit for the 21st century. And the final quote of that part, "The Summit of the Future is a chance to build a more effective and inclusive set of institutions and tools for global cooperation, tuned to the 21st century and our multipolar world." Ladies and gentlemen, with this kind of background, we have a serious job ahead of us in shaping a future towards sustainability and approaching things differently from how we have done. Put more succinctly, as I said earlier, we have to create a future that is fit for the world. and we must change the way that we go about achieving impacts and results. The Summit of the Future proposes solutions in 5 critical areas. The first is sustainable development and financing for development. And the welcome address from the chairman of NDPC has already set out some of these in specific detail for Ghana. Last year at the SDG Summit, global leaders highlighted the need to reform the global financial architecture to jumpstart and accelerate action towards the 2030 agenda. The Summit of the Future will pave the way to get us back on track to achieve the SDGs through unlocking greater volumes of development finance, addressing the debt crisis that is holding so many countries back, especially on this continent and including Ghana. The second area is around international peace and security. Peace, as we all know, is the cornerstone of building and maintaining progress. A new agenda for peace will be issued for a renewed push to rid our world of the elements of conflict, acknowledging the changing nature of warfare and the risks of weaponizing new technologies. This will strengthen our collective security system, enabling us to more effectively foster peaceful relationship between states, resolve long-standing conflicts and threats, advance towards a more sustainable and peaceful world free of weapons of mass destruction, and tackle the new and emerging challenges, including the impact of technological advances in domains such as outer space and cyberspace. The third area is around science, technology, innovation, and digital cooperation. The Summit of the Future will also focus on harnessing the opportunities and managing the risks of digital technologies by closing digital divides, expanding inclusion in the digital economy, ensuring safety, protecting human rights, managing data governance, and better understanding and addressing the risks, including both the opportunities and risks of artificial intelligence, ensuring that global decision-making is guided by science, and that science, technology, and innovation benefit more people in more countries, especially on this continent. The fourth area is on youth and future generations. And I emphasize that youth are different from future generations. Some of you are young people today. We are also accounting for those yet unborn. Strengthening the meaningful participation of young people in all decision-making at all levels, including at the United Nations, and ensuring that they have the opportunities they deserve to thrive, as well as agreeing on practical ways to take the future into account in our collective decision-making today, is really at the core of this, and in keeping with our long-standing promise to meet the needs of the present without compromising the needs of generations yet unborn and who are to come after us, and really for whom we are caretakers of this planet and all the systems around it. So those conversations are really important, and here the UN in Ghana has played a strong role in really trying to push for and ensure that the voices of young people are heard here. The fifth and final area is transforming global governance so that it can continue to deliver on the future, including through the reform of the Security Council and paving the way for an international financial system that is more representative of today's world and more responsive to the challenges of our times. The Secretary General, as recently as just 2 weeks ago in Beijing, stated very clearly that Africa's absence of a permanent seat on the Security Council is a travesty of justice that must be addressed. The key outcomes from this summit will be in a document called the Pact for the Future, an intergovernmentally agreed action-oriented document covering the areas highlighted earlier. And the pact contains 2 annexes as well, which will include a global digital compact and a declaration on future generations, that secures the future we are in. Let me say I'm delighted and wish to express our deepest appreciation to the National Planning Development Commission, to the SDG Advisory Unit, and all who have really supported this work in leading the charge to ensure that Ghana's voice, and by extension, Africa's voice, is heard through the position paper to be presented by His Excellency, the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, at this summit. The UN's support in facilitating these consultations has been instrumental, offering a platform for inclusive dialogue and fostering innovative solutions that are tuned into Ghana's own need and this continent's own needs to address the region's development priorities. As a nation which is at the forefront of Pan-African leadership, and we're very proud of Ghana in that context, which is aligning itself not just with the Sustainable Development Goals, and the President himself will be ending his tenure as an emeritus champion of the SDGs, but also our key proponents of the African Union's own agenda and vision, the vision for Agenda 2063. Ghana has always embraced its responsibility to contribute, not just here in Ghana, to shaping Ghana's own agenda, but also to shaping the regional and global agenda as well. And the Summit of the Future therefore provides an unparalleled opportunity for Ghana to share its unique perspectives, foster collaboration, and engage in meaningful dialogue with international partners towards the new consensus that is required to take us forward. As the UN Secretary General announced at the recent forum in China for China-Africa cooperation held in Beijing, the UN is seeking to push for reforms so that the international financial architecture and institutions correspond to the reality of today's world and can respond to today's challenges, particularly those faced by developing countries, especially in Africa. This is an opportunity for Africa to seize and stand together in unity to make it a reality. And we anticipate and expect that Ghana will play a pivotal role in these discussions and ensure the future that we all want for this continent. We believe that the Summit of the Future will be the defining moment in our collective efforts to chart a course towards a more inclusive, sustainable, and prosperous world. Ghana's participation continues to underscore its long-standing commitment to global leadership and innovation, as well as the desire to see Africa take its rightful place at the heart of the discourse on the future globally. Let me reiterate that the UN in Ghana stands committed to support Ghana on its own journey to self-reliance and support Ghana to continue to have its voice heard on the global stage. I invite all Ghanaians and partners, and especially you, the media, to follow closely as world leaders and stakeholders from across the globe engage at this pivotal event towards building a brighter, more resilient future for generations to come, not just here in Ghana, but across the African continent and globally. I thank you for your time and for listening. But across the African continent and globally. I thank you for your time and for listening.
Thank you, sir. Thanks of your commitment to support Ghana, the achievements of the SDGs. We are indeed grateful. To ensure that we leave no one behind, help me invite Madame Lillian Asiedu from the CSO platform to also give us her statement. Madame, you have the back.
Good morning, colleagues, and greetings to you, board chair and resident coordinator, members of the diplomatic corps, and all gathered here this morning. I stand here on behalf of the co-chairs of the CSO's platform on SDGs and support this action with a brief remarks. We have barely 6 years to achieve the SDGs, Agenda 2030. And there is a need for us to expedite actions because some of the SDGs have veered off track, some are also stagnating, and coupled with the global discourse that we are having around the challenges we face in our everyday lives, racism, conflicts, poverty striking every here and there, especially in the part of our continent, Africa, we have a responsibility to join the global leaders in preparing a pact that will guide the next decisions that we have to take. And we are particularly excited that financing is coming up strongly in this discourse that our world leaders are going to have. Because without effective financing, we may not be able to implement the brilliant agenda that we have set for ourselves. While we reflect on expedited actions to achieve the agenda, with pride amidst the odds that stand in our way, we need to advance our collective global action, which is the summit of the future. Member states are indeed in the final stages of negotiating the 3 agreements to be adopted at the summit of the future. That is, the part of the future which contains the Global Digital Compact and the Declaration on Future Generations. And Ghana, through the past couple of months, have been putting together a document that our President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa will be presenting at the Summit of the Future as Ghana's position. And we are happy to have been part of this development so that when he comes back, it is an internal document for us as a country, for us as civil society to own, to co-implement, because we all shared in its design. We in civil society, on this occasion, want to pledge our support to our government and our people, and will uphold and contribute to internalizing the outcome of the negotiations. We are ready to promote our human existence. We are ready to diversify. We are ready to safeguard the generations here, now, and after us. The Summit of the Future is aimed at charting the path for a more effective, cooperative, and to solve today's challenges and safeguard the next generation. On this note, I want to say thank you to the UN system in Ghana, thank you to the President of the Republic of Ghana, thank you to the SDGs Advisory Unit, thank you to NDPC, thank you to civil society. And as you leave here today, remember the hashtag is our common future. Let our common future be the agenda that we chart. Let our common future be the discussion on the table. If it is not about our common future, it is not about us. Let it not say that we were here and we did not promote our common future. Thank you.
At this juncture, my job has ended. I hand over to my colleagues. Some thoughts and ideas together for the Summit of the Future. The principles we use in implementing the Agenda 2030 in Ghana, and this is the we use. So we decided to have some consultations. We didn't want to sit in what we call in Ghana, we didn't want to sit in one corner and write something. She realized he mentioned some of them. We had consultations with the youth, with professional bodies, with persons with disability, civil society, economic partners, women's groups. We had consultation and we consolidated them all into the position paper that is being mentioned this morning. So about a Google form, and eventually we got 29 responses, and somebody will think that, oh, this is small. It's not small, but some of the response came from coalitions. For instance, the civil society platform for SDGs in Ghana is a very big platform. So if they fill a form, it's very big. Youth advocates and National Youth Authority and other organizations filled the form. So together 29 responses was quite big.
Now, in terms of the, they're giving themselves the age, we asked for age brackets, and we realized that 69% came from people who are between the age 35 to 60. Now, 20% came from 40 to 35 years. Now, in terms of male, female, we had 55% of the respondents being males and 44 females. Now, the meetings that we had, the consultation were what the time you say hybrid. We had both online and in-person participants. And online, collectively, we had 88 participants joining us online via Zoom. And then we had some in-person participants, and these are a few photos. Persons with disabilities, after the meet, we took a photo with them. Professional bodies, so the Chartered Institute of Accountants, and then the academia were also here with us in person and also online, like I mentioned earlier. Now, like has been mentioned this morning, the chapters of this, or the Path for the Future, which is the resultant document for the Summit of the Future, has chapters, and these are the chapters for the Path for the Future. And so we strategically subtitled the various chapters or the various segments of the position paper according to the various chapters of the Path for the Future. Now, so this is pre-summit we have talked about. So all these processes have led to a position paper that has been sent to the Office of the President. Now, during the summit, there's what the Secretary General himself, the UN Secretary General himself, has put together what we call action days. And these are side events that gives opportunity for private sector, experts, ministers of states, civil society, indeed all stakeholders to come together to talk about our future based on the various chapters of the Pact for the Future. Now, during the summit, the delegation that will be going to the summit from Ghana will participate in this event. And on the 20th, which is a Friday, there will be an off-site side event. So this event will not take place in the UN building, it will take place in the UN building. And over here to Ghana, we'll have a side event where we discuss the future, especially what pertains across the generations, from the young people to the older people. Now, post-summit, after the summit, what will we do? We will, whatever we come up with at the summit, that's the Path for the Future, and also the thoughts and ideas we get globally from our off-site side events will all be used here in Ghana, and we will disseminate the outcome across the various stakeholders, especially those that we consulted with, and also those that are in the decentralized planning system of Ghana. And the decentralized planning system of Ghana, we have the national level of organizations or entities, and then we have the regional levels, and then we have the MMDAs, so the Metropolitan Municipal and District Assemblies. We share all these ideas with them, and ultimately we're going to put the outcomes and giving the more ideas our stakeholders share with us into the next, what we call medium-term development and planning framework, which is going to be implemented after the expiration of the current one that Ghana is implementing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very, very much. Remember the hashtag, our common future. Please use it anytime you post anything on the Summit of the Future. Thank you so much.
then I'm on for bro for about. Hey, all inclusive. Hey. Why?
Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe,
and click on the bell for more updates.